the divine conspiracy. Let's put it that way. It's a divine conspiracy. So yes, what I'm talking about is an alternative way of looking at the pandemic. I'm actually calling it the benevolent pandemic. Well, the first thing I would do is turn off the news, since it's not really helping, and it's specialists in programming us to fall into fear. I would say go on a news diet. I know you have people on your show who talk about conspiracies, and good Lord, there's plenty of people out there who think that the world is out to get us in one way, shape, or form. And segments of the world, leaders of the world, whoever, pockets of the world, the conspiracy theories are rampant. So I have a conspiracy theory too. The conspiracy theory for me is it's a conspiracy for good. And I'm asking people to hold their breath for a second, not to shoot me or anything. I'm just a messenger. And I want to give an alternative view of what's happening in the world. I'm a very metaphysical guy. And even though I'm practical, I'm an entrepreneur, I have business, I have books, I can do things in concrete, third dimensional reality, I also know there's a spiritual dimension. And in my view of life, the spiritual dimension is actually in charge. So when I say there's a divine conspiracy, I'm inviting people to consider that maybe the universe, the divine, God, nature, Gaia, pick any word that feels right, is actually in charge. When I get commands like go to your room, which we're all on solitary confinement now, we've all been sent to our room, in a way I feel like, well, the earth is shaking us awake. The divine is shaking us, it's grabbing us and shaking us and saying, go to your room and do it alone. Do the social distancing so we're not hanging around other people, we're not in crowds, we're not being lost in the mass of other opinions, and actually go into our own reality. When we're told go inside, to me, that's a metaphysical command. It doesn't mean just go inside your house, it means go inside you. This is what I feel. This is our time for meditation, for contemplation, for creation, for communication, but it's all done within ourselves. We are given this amazing opportunity by what's going on in the world right now to actually reflect, grow, redirect in many ways. For lots of people, this is their first opportunity to learn how to make money from home. And thanks to the internet, which is making even this conversation possible, we're able to communicate in a way that previous generations, or 100 years ago when there was a plague going through, they couldn't do it. They couldn't keep up with anybody, and they couldn't work from home in the way that we can do now. So we have that as a potential, as a possibility, and as a positive. But we also have the idea that while you're in your room and you're all alone, why don't you learn how to meditate? Why don't you learn how to reconnect with what I'm calling the divine? And so I think there's a divine conspiracy, and that's what I'm inviting people to at least toy with the possibility. I've been rereading Viktor Frankl, and of course his famous book, Man's Search for Meaning, is, God, millions of people have read it. If people haven't read it, please reread it again. He also came out with a book later, after his death actually, others brought it out, of his lectures, which is called Yes to Life. And here is a man who says the way to have meaning is to actually do something, to actually create something, to actually choose something. A lot of people look around saying, I don't know the meaning of life. And the punchline is, you provide the meaning. You provide the meaning. You don't have to go look for the meaning. You provide the meaning. What does it mean to you? Ask yourself, what does life want from you today? What does life want from you today? Well, I think this wonderful blessing we have of we've all been sent to our room in a sense. The planet has sent us to our room to give us something to think about. And what we can think about is what's our contribution? So many people are looking around and saying to themselves, when's the government going to help me? Or when's the relief going to come? Or when's the virus going to be cured? Instead, we need to be looking inside ourselves and saying, what does life need that I can provide? And it doesn't have to be on the noble level of a cure for the virus. If you got it, please deliver it. But it can just be making a difference in your family, in your household, in your business, stuck right where you are. God, the universe, Gaia, there's so many names for this higher power, this invisible source that is intelligent. Whatever that is, this is our time to connect to it, or reconnect if we've lost. But this is our time to go within and look for the esoteric internet, if you will, and connect to that.